Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 22 Driver Career with McLaren, episode number 57 today for the Australian Grand Prix of Season 4, round number 3. If you missed the previous episode, uploaded last week at Jeddah, I recommend you go and check the one. It was 3 wide for the race lead with both Red Bulls as well, but we did win that race. And now we've got that minor brakes upgrade that's coming through. Haven't got enough upgrades for the ERS. Is it going to have a wet qualifying as well, just to spice things up as well? But that minor brakes upgrade has come through. We've literally got those 2 upgrades left, and then we're fully maxed out. Which, I think the next couple of races, especially the fact there's a big gap between Imola and Baku, I think we can get them all on the car by the time we get to Canada at the very latest, I reckon. Personally, if not Silverstone, if one fails, for example. But Red Bull ahead of Alpine is pretty much the only change, which will probably annoy Lando Norris and put a smile on Max Verstappen's face, considering the fact that what's happened so far, though, is that Norris has got a podium and Verstappen hasn't.
We've got a bit of a situation at the moment. Seems like something's off with the fuel injection system. We're looking into it, but we're going to be out of action for a few minutes.
Oh, it's been a while since we've had one of those. Oh, that's nice. From just giving me PTSD back to season 1 when it was every other race we had one of those failures. But the plus side, I would be really annoyed if this happened, if the rain got heavier throughout the session, but it hasn't. It's got lighter throughout the session, so we are fortunate. If it got heavier throughout the session, that would have been qualifying over. We would have been P20, but we're not. We're down in P8 as well, but we are improving. This new Australian layout, I can't decide if I like it or not. I don't, as I say, this year's AI are a little bit too OP, I'm finding, in certain corners or out of with the traction, which is definitely, yes, they've tried to fix it, but they haven't fixed it enough, basically, and it's still broken. We are 7.5 tenths up. Science has got a 23.8, so hopefully we can try and get to the 20. If we can get into the 23 or anywhere near that as well. We have gone the last one out, so that should be the driest. It's not, unfortunately, not like when we've had wet qualifyings and a couple of times previously where it's actually been dry enough for soft compound tyre at the end of the session, but that will give us 2 fresh soft compound tyres should we need them, which we won't. We'll only need one of them for the race. As we come up to the line, and we've dropped to P15, but I think that was a purple last sector actually, which surprisingly, because it's got that turn 9 and 10, which I absolutely hate the curbs. They are dreadful curbs there, but yeah, it is P6 in a summary. A little bit of mistake there that I made in the first sector probably cost me that 10th to Piastri, as well as a Norris. There's nobody actually. Sainz is the only one in the 23. So our Ferrari started to turn up. Vettel only P8 though, so. Yes, we'll have to wait and see what we can do from 6th place on the grid. I'm confident we can get a good result here. It's just the question about where Piastri is. So we'll see what we can do. Time for the rain.
The crowd are here, and it's brilliant to see them lining the track here in Albert Park. It's going to be a fantastic day of racing. Welcome everyone to the Australian Grand Prix. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit, 3.28 miles around, with the streets making for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 14 corners around the lake, with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Russell, Sir Lewis Hamilton, Phoenix, Ocon, Vettel, Leclerc and Pierre Gasly, Albon, Verstappen, Mick Schumacher and Stroll, Joe, Schwartzman, Nicholas Latifi and Valtteri Bottas, Tsunoda, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
So here we are down on the grid. Race strategy is going to be a one stop from soft to medium. Did look at as usual, medium to soft, but that's 10th slower. So you know, it's one of the that's one of the biggest differences between the two strategies so far, I think I've seen. So 5-minute lights then for the Australian Grand Prix, Albert Park, and away we go. And as usual, it's a mediocre start. I think that's Ocon. It is Ocon. He's trying to go on the outside. We're going to try and thread the needle down the inside. Ocon a little bit too wide through turn one. We're able to take full advantage back up to P6. One man though, the locals will be supporting only this man in real life in 2023, and of course in season 4. That's Oscar Piastri. He gets in front of Lando Norris as well, who's down to P3. Sainz still leads though. We're having a look at Lewis Hamilton all over the back of Hamilton. We've gone wide there, unfortunately. Our understeers Ocon and Leclerc are battling behind us. Leclerc down the inside, on the outside for the next corner through the car park section. And that's, you know, going to give Leclerc the inside for the next corner. It's a lovely little move there by our former teammate and the two-time world champion in this career mode. So we now come up to the back of Lewis Hamilton again after our earlier little mistake, and now we're going to try and just send it with DRS. Can't be sitting behind Hamilton down on the inside, and comfortable move up to P5 now. So we're going to get a replay of this, see if there's any contact, which there shouldn't be, because, you know, I thought that was a clean overtake as well, nicely fair, and that's the overtake that you know, that corner slightly allows for. And Hamilton a little bit deeper in that corner allows Leclerc to have the other end, but he does comfortably stay in front of Leclerc. Piastri had to go at Sainz, but Piastri's gone wide. That's going to allow Norris to get back in front of Piastri, but Piastri then keeps his foot in and retains the position, and Piastri is going for it. He wants to win his home race. You know, the Australians haven't had good luck at their home race recently. Every time they come, they seem to either retire or get disqualified. As we make a lovely little move on George Russell, who was caught napping with Norris and Sainz and Piastri all fighting. This is a lovely little move. I don't think I've ever made a move at this corner. Well, you know, it was more the final corner really, but you know, that type of move, I don't think I've ever made that move ever, or seen anyone make that move. Russell's going to come back at us, so Mercedes have had, to be fair to Mercedes, they have brought upgrades to their engine, but it's still not a lot for the might of the Porsche, and we're able to keep position. As now Norris is being forced out by Piastri at the corner. He's going slow, and we're going to dart down the inside this corner and get the position. I have made a move at that corner before, ages and ages and ages ago. As I say, it's a rarer overtake these days, but with the DRS zone round the corner. But I mean, it is a corner you can make, and there's a contact between Russell and Norris there, but Norris keeps P4 now. As Piastri now Norris isn't behind him, Piastri is on the outside, round the outside, and this time Piastri is going to get the move done. So the Australian takes the lead of his home Grand Prix. Into the pits early though is Lando Norris. So Norris was pitted early at the end of lap 7. We're going on the further lap number 8, as well as to say to the end of lap 7 on to lap number 8. Excuse me, as we come in then into the pits, there's Sainz. Can we get the jump on Sainz? Hard tyres for Ferrari, typical Ferrari strategy. And we come out ghosted in Sainz, but the game has put us ahead of Sainz. Just ahead of Sainz. So, that's a bit crucial. Sainz is going to be slow on those hard tyres. We're in front of Norris as well, so the undercut hasn't worked for the 4-year-old in the Alpine there. So we are going to need to watch out for Sainz. He has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. This is the most, I think this is the best, that for opening stint for Ferrari and Sainz is the best we've seen. As what on earth is Lando Norris doing in that corner as following Leclerc is coming. That's just erratic driving as well. And Norris is going to continue. He's falling behind now, and all of a sudden you've got to question whether that move to Alpine was actually a good move for him, as Russell had a go at him, but he's unable to get past, just like Piastri did. And that brings us to lap number 12, where Sainz is having another go at us, but again we're having absolutely none of it at that corner. We took overtook Russell there. So a little bit of a replay here. These medium tyres, dreadful. I don't know what it was, but the AI had a little 2/10. They were gaining 2/10 on the straights compared to me, which is bizarre considering the fact the Porsche engine, the McLaren, is the fastest on the R&D chart. So, but then we all know that it's a different thing on paper compared to on the track, because Pierre Gasly, his Renault AlphaTauri engine is out of the race with an engine failure as well. So Piastri has just run away, but there's no chance of catching Piastri. These mediums just they feel awful, and you can see by the fact we've got such a big terrain behind us, just battling, trying to keep position. And now they're going 3 wide between Sainz and Leclerc. Leclerc initially got in front of Sainz, but Sainz is now back in front of Leclerc. So 2 former teammates there. And Leclerc has gone deep into the corner. He's had a lock up there, and Russell is now through on Leclerc. So that's a bad ending for Leclerc, who's gone from P3 back to P5, as well as Piastri makes it the first Australian to win at Albert Park. I don't think any Australians ever actually won their home Grand Prix when it was part of the F1 World Championship. So the first Australian to win his first race. Many congratulations to him. But for us, we had so much pace on the soft tyres. 19.0 fastest lap, and that was when the 18.8s is when when they dumped the battery at the end of the race. Really, but 19.0 compared to an 18.8, we should have had I think we should have had a little bit better pace on the mediums, and for some reason that set of tyres just didn't want to give me the grip or the performance that we needed today. So a little bit disappointing, but it's another 1-2 for McLaren. Piastri though has closed the gap to 7 points, so that is worrying considering the fact he's won 2 of the first 3 races now. But there are better races for me to come later in the season, so this could still, it's not the end of the world, and we're moved comfortably clear of Lando Norris. Is 24 points behind now. Constructors, we're going to have this wrapped up by Silverstone at this rate, because we're 61 points in front of Red Bull already. Mercedes jump Alpine today. Ferrari, though, those 4 teams are very close. It's going to be up to the teammates, not the first drivers, but the second drivers, to get the best out of the team. And so far, Red Bull and Alpine seem to be getting the better about that compared to Ferrari and Mercedes. But the tight margins down there, only takes one of them to have a little bit of performance upgrade, have a track that they can perform well at, and all of a sudden they've gained a huge amount of points. But obviously we've not finished outside the top 2 so far, so this run of dominant form that's has continued from season 3 as the reigning world champion. I've never in any driver career mode successfully defended a world championship, so this could be a first for this channel and myself. So yes, subscribe if you want to see that, see the rest of the season, see if we can defend our world championship as well. The next race will be Imola. That is a biblical episode. It's already recorded. That will be out on Thursday. So if you haven't enjoyed, leave a like, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. See plenty more F1 22 driver career videos. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.